Fleming Way, the new £33 million transport hub, redesigned and now reopened. Bus services have been altered, with many services moving to other stops around the town centre and the bus station, while work was carried out. Finally, after 3 years of full closure and Fleming Way being lowered on the 14th of August 2023, it reopens today, Sunday 31st August. Let's have a look at the work that's been done and the full project and how it looks. Starting with Stand R, where I'm located now. All services in Swindon will now use the brand new Fleming Way interchange, no matter their destination, company, or through fare. With one stand for set-down services only, and every stand featuring next arrival boards, seating arrangements, wireless charging, and sheltered seating. Timetable boards are also placed in every shelter, as well as the next arrival screen. Many shelters and bus stops have one service per stop, with some featuring more than one. We additionally have the quirky stand J, J1, 2, 3 and 4, still with drive on, reverse out. Of course there, we have one of the Plaxton Pointer 2s in driver training livery, testing out the brand new bus boulevard before it opens, as this is being filmed a week prior to the opening, as it's a little bit quieter and easier to film. However, from the 31st August, this bus boulevard will be plagued with different buses going to various different locations around Swindon and surrounding areas. So let's have a deep inside view before Fleming Way fully opens next week. This is Fleming Way, overdue, criticised, but now finished. Here's a closer look at each individual bus stand here at the brand new £33 million transport hub in the centre of Swindon. Fleming Way, overdue, but finally finished, and will be ready for opening when you're watching this video. The £33 million transport hub in the centre of Swindon is finally complete with these shelters that I'm sat in now. As you would have seen from the pan shots at the start of the video, we have proper seating with wireless charging availability. We have next service arrival screens facing each direction in the middle of the shelters and at one end of the shelter as well. On each side we have space for the timetable board. So this one I'm having a look at is one of the new Fleming Way stands. This one is H. As we can see, Stagecoach are training their drivers down this road. They've gone into the J stands, which we'll have a look very shortly at, and they did the loop, the old Cheltenham Street area where stands L, M and N are. That vehicle there is S22 ABC, which is one of the Stagecoach West driver training vehicles. Anyway, we are here in stand H, and as you can see there will be a timetable board here and potentially on the other side as well, and this stand will be used for the 55 to Chippenham. So each stand is this size except one, which we will have a look at. They all have seating availabilities, proper seats like this, and also the bench style seats like this, as well as seating on the outside. So when the bus is about to be due, you can also just perch up on the outside bit, which is also slightly sheltered as well. So every single bus service in Swindon will now use Fleming Way, which has already been updated on bustimes.org for Stagecoach and at Swindon's bus company services, with them using the majority of the stands. However, Fulham's coaches service 64 and coach style service 99 haven't been updated as such on busstands.org or anything like that. However, we will have a look at what stands they will be using. We'll also have a look down there at stands L, M and N, which will also be used as the turning circle for buses to get from these stands to those stands on the other side of the road, or just to exit Fleming Way. Certainly. But let's look at the slightly different stand of stand J. So stand J is located on a turning off of Fleming Way, called John Street, in the former John Street car park. This area houses the brand new toilet block and the Swindon mural, as well as a larger J stand shelter. This one is double the size of the normal stand shelters, as it takes over 4 stands. So stand J has been split into 4 different stands: J1, J2 and J3, as well as J4, which is a slightly different stand. So this is going to be used by quite a few services, and subsequently the bus shelter is much larger. You have the same amount of normal seating, but you have more bench seats, as well as the bench seats on the external part of the shelter. You have the big screen, which will display adverts, and it will also show departures from every stand. And of course you have the same next arrival screen, DMI, in the middle facing each direction, and you also have it on the exit to each stand. Similarly, here we will have timetable boards here, and probably on the other side, currently mentioning what they're doing at the moment. They're training their drivers, they're not quite ready yet, and where everything departs from at the moment. So here you'll have the Thorney Park services 81 and 82, Swindon Bus Company services 21 and 23, those council routes, the service 6 towards Cemetery Park, Fulham's coaches 64 to Witney, the 51 and 51X will go from here. But stand J, or stand J1, 2, 3 and 4 is slightly different. It is still drive on, reverse off stands, and the exit will be down via Fleet Street. You loop around, come past the railway station to rejoin normal route. So that does mean 51, 51X, 64, 53, 81, 82, I believe it is only. They will instead come out down Fleet Street and loop around past the railway station and either turn right in the same way the 55 does now, or they will continue straight and turn right down Armstrong Street should they need to go past Corporation Street. So service 64 will continue straight on at Station Road past the first set of traffic lights, and will then turn right to serve Armstrong Street as normal and keep going from there. Service 51 and 51X will turn right at the first traffic lights outside of the railway station, go down that street, turn left to go past the current bus station and rejoin normal route on Manchester Road. Service 6 won't really be affected too much. It will come out of Fleet Street and join normal route to go down from Catherine Street to Farringdon Road. And services 21 and 23 will do the same as the 51. They'll come out of here, go past the railway station and go back past the current bus station to join their normal routes. Of course, the 21 already serves the railway station in that sort of stupid loop where it goes around, but now that'll be simplified. It will just come out past the railway station and down onto Manchester Road. So very nice. Let's have a quick pan shot of the J stands. Okay, so this stand, of course, as I've just said, is slightly different and slightly bigger than the rest. Of course, there is no buses on this Fleming Way yet, excluding the one Dennis Dart SLF Plaxton Pointer 2, which is one of the training vehicles. Of course, they need to train. Now, we have crossing availabilities on this road, except here, where it's not going to be traffic lighted. You just go, look both ways. I don't know why it says look both ways when I presume reversing traffic, because obviously it is going to be reversing stands, so maybe they will come up to the crossing bit to get out properly, but they will exit via that street. They're not going to reverse out onto the main Fleming Way here, although they could. They're just going to be rerouted around Fleet Street. Anyway, some work is still going on, of course, even though the main work is finished. We come to one of the stranger stands. This one is stand K, which is going to be used for Freshbrook bound 7s and Barnfield bound 22s, so it will be a shared stand, this one. And it is one of the smaller stands, if not the only small stand. It still has a next service arrival screen, and it still has 4 seats. There is space for 4 people to sit down at the moment on this route bus shelter, and of course the 7 is an every 20-minute bus service, and the 22 is every half an hour. So it is going to stop here quite a lot, and they are busy services. Of course, here we'll have the timetable board. At the moment, the 7 to Freshbrook goes from Bay 4, and the 22 to Barnfield goes from stand Q, but of course they'll be going from here very shortly. So this is one of the smallest bus shelters. The rest of them are quite the boxy style that I've shown you with stands H, and of course J is bigger because it has more stands. Now let's show you the different ways to get from this side to that side to make bus connections, to walk to the railway station, or if your service terminates over there and you need to get through to the parade for the town centre. From this side of the road to get to the town centre, it's pretty simple. You just walk down this part of the pavement and just turn right around H&M. However, from the other side of the road, depending on which stand your bus terminates at, it will depend on which crossing you use. There are currently, I believe, 3 main crossing areas on Fleming Way. Let's have a look at some of them. So we have 2 which are going to be traffic lighted, I believe. No, we have 3 which are going to be traffic lighted, 1 at each end of Fleming Way and 1 in the middle of Fleming Way, which is where the walkway for ages was. So there is some work going on the traffic lights at the moment, just to get it up and running, ready for services. Of course, services out of here will carry on straight, so there will be the use of giveaway lines in the middle, which I'll show you a bit more in depth in a moment. But there is a main crossing here if you are using the stands at this end of Fleming Way. So they are pedestrian controlled, and there is also in the middle, there is perfect timing. There is also the cycle lane here along the entirety of the Fleming Way road. There is a lovely bus there, brilliant news, and a 17 following it, which will no longer have to do the stupid bit round here and looping up and around. Anyway, so yeah, this crossing, it is a double crossing. In my opinion though, you don't really need to set off the red light on the traffic lights unless there is a bus coming towards you. And from here, again, it's set off again. The only way anything would really be coming through here is if a bus has used the turning circle and has come through onto Fleming Way. But again, we have a cycle lane on this side of the road as well, which is of course very good if you cycle in Swindon. Now, I don't need to look now. You will of course have to look sometimes, as services using stands L and M will come down Fleming Way, and the National Express coaches from stand N will come down Fleming Way, as well as any service that needs to get from one side to the other side will use that to turn around. So buses will of course be coming from over there through here, but for the main part there won't be much. Now there is another new crossing here, which is Green Man at the moment. This is a crossing that's been here sort of anyway. It's the one that connects the main street here with Fleming Way to the left and the usual route for buses to the right. As you can see, this one works as normal with all the different buses and, you know, cars and all of that. That one will not be bus gated. But of course there will now be a bus gate on left and right of this. So if we walk over here to the new area, there is another crossing here. This crossing I'm not counting as being on the main Fleming Way. This one means you can get across from maybe the National Express stands to the L and M, or just to get to stands L and M. So let's have a look at this turning circle area, which will be used by services turning around or getting from one side to the other side, as mentioned previously. So as you can see, stands L and M share one massive bus shelter with space for 2 vehicles. And in the middle on the left-hand side, there is one bus stand for layover vehicles. On the other side, you have 2 larger bus shelters for national services, N1 and N2. That'll be for the National Express coach services, with again 2 bus stands in the middle for layover vehicles. You have a crossing here from the middle to get to stands L and M, and of course to just get over to the buildings over there. And if I pan around, you also have a crossing here to get from the middle to N1 and N2. So there is actually a road behind the N1 and N2 stands, which is where the road loops around. So I don't really know what that's going to be used for, that road, but there is a road coming in from the Cheltenham Street up there, looping behind the N1 and N2 bus shelters, which is going to be, I've just read the sign, I've actually used my eyes, it's going to be a taxi drop-off and pick-up point. So I believe they will come in through the bus gate on this side, because it is a one-way loop. They'll come in through this side, past stands L and M, and go around to stands N1 and N2, I believe, and then turn left into this taxi gate here and simply form a queue of taxis there, and then they will exit at the traffic light onto Fleming Way at the end. But of course what the current services 11 and 17 do, and 12, sorry, they currently go behind. It might be better in back camera here, hang on. They currently go behind, not through the bus gate, around, and the road actually goes round the back and up to that traffic light. But yeah, behind the stands N1 and N2, there is going to be space for taxis. So yeah, as mentioned before, there is a crossing here, but this one isn't traffic light controlled at all. There is no traffic lights here, you literally just cross. Because the only way something's going to come in here is if it is a bus entering stands L, M, N, or turning around. So as I mentioned before, in the middle there are give-way lines, and the cycle lane does continue from the main Fleming Way through here. And you do have cycle lane traffic lights, which I think are the first sighting here. And of course you have the cycle lane dotted lines in the middle there. But of course it will be priority for this road, which is why there is a new traffic light that goes red every so often, which will go red, and it will be connected to this one when that goes green, so that buses can either decide to come up this road or for services up this road, as it were. And there is another traffic light there, which is currently it's just going to be used for pedestrian crossing. So cyclists will have their traffic light and cars will have their traffic light there. So yeah, it's toggled, if you know what I mean. So buses coming off of Fleming Way towards this direction, when they go green, buses or the vehicles coming from the current main road that is being used around here, they will go red to allow. It won't be a case of give way. So stand L is going to be used by one bus service only, and that is the X5 to Salisbury, done by Salisbury Reds, which I have done a full visual for in the past. And stand M is going to be used by the Wiltshire services X46, 46A, 48, 48A, and the 80 to Marlborough, as well as the Lambourne service 47, which, to be fair, they could have put the Lambourne 47 in stand J4, which has been made for a community bus, which I would say that is Now the bus, as I mentioned, they come down this behind road at the moment, and then the 11, 12 and 17 will turn right, loop around, and join Station Road up at that traffic light, but I'll do that more in depth here. So stands L and M have one long shelter, which is probably the biggest shelter. Now if I come into the corner here, you can see there is the main normal bench styles that you see in bus shelters. You have normal seating arrangements. You have the timetable board for stand L. So if you're waiting for the X5, you should wait in this portion of the bus shelter, but you could wait down there if you wanted. So the timetable for the X5 will be in here. There is a DMI facing both directions in the middle there, and there is a stand L timetable board space here and here. So most of this bit, probably up to where I'm stood now facing that way, is all stand L. And if we spin around, this is for stand M, which are these other services I mentioned. You have your bench seating in the middle and an exit here in the middle. I do believe those DMIs will display departures for both stands L and M. I don't think it will be L, M, because there is another DMI board. But yeah, I don't think it will just be, you know, like that. And as you can see, there is a timetable board here and here for stand M, as well as here. So it's sort of in reverse. There is the weird seating areas, and as I said, there is another DMI facing both directions here, as well as an exit here. So buses will pull up their doors just past the letter. So the bus on stand M will pull up about here, and the bus on stand L will pull up about there. Now let's have a quick look at this section here, which is going to be used by the taxis turning right. I think cars will be able to use it as well on the old Cheltenham Street. Well, the current Cheltenham Street. I'm just going to walk on the road because there isn't going to be any buses coming. So yeah, it is quite a large turning circle radius here. As you can see, it's not exactly small, and there is space to get past any parked up buses on either side, so you would have to work your way through. And there is enough space for a coach to do it, enough space for a bus to do it, enough space for a taxi to do it if they wanted as well, because taxis are allowed in this space as well, and then they'll turn right in that gate that we've already looked at, but I'll show you again in a moment. So yeah, there is another crossing here. This is where the cycle lane loops around, as it were, just by Cheltenham Street, so the old car park. So we do have a cycle lane here, which has looped around and continues there, before forcing you back onto the road alongside traffic there up to the traffic light. We do have another pedestrian controlled traffic light, which of course has always been working, but it isn't a bus gate, so any cars can loop around from, I think that's Milton Street, around to Cheltenham Street, or they can continue round behind Western House, whereas buses could either go round there or into this Cheltenham Street turning circle area. As demonstrated here, I hope this is a 17 to demonstrate my point. It is a 17. So they're going to use the outside lane and loop around. But of course, when Fleming Way is open, that won't have to go from Milton Street and around. It will just come straight over off of Fleming Way and still come around and then serve the railway station. And as you can see here, there's no cars, so I'm not being too dangerous. We do have the cycleway traffic lights, which are toggled, as well as the main traffic lights as well. I think they go a few seconds out from each other. I don't think they go the same time, just to give it sort of, well, enough time for the bike to get ahead of the car, I think. And yeah, this is what the taxi rank is going to look like. We have a bit of a ramp here on the road to the pavement for bikes, I presume, that want to get onto the pavement. And we have this road here, which is going to be for bikes and taxis only. And it's just going to be a connection up to Station Road to then turn right. So yeah, as you can see, we are behind the national services. Just have a look before I do this. It's got a bit of a taxi rank just literally next to the, what's it called? Just next to the stands on the behind side, which is going to be really handy. So you'll have taxis here. What they're going to do is they're going to use the loop area all the way around like that, and then turn right, come into here, park up here, and then leave through that way and up to the traffic light. That coach has just demonstrated the turn, but you can, if you're on a bike, come down this road on the other side. So I think it will be a one-way road for taxis. Well, let's just go and have a look if there's a sign. And then we'll finally look at the National Express stand. So yeah, this area here is for both bikes and pedestrians, as it does have the road to pavement ramp. Because obviously the cycle lane is here, not down this road. So this road, yeah, it's bikes only by the look of it. So it will be a one-way road for the taxis as such. So they'll come out and go around and take you wherever you're wanting to go. So yeah, we do have 2 stands for National Express services, which has been heavily criticised, as Barnes coaches and other local excursion coach operators will have to use the Princes Street bus stop near the Wyvern Theatre and won't be allowed here. However, I think that's quite odd, because you never have 2 National Express coaches here at once, except on rare occasions when the W15 to Wembley is running or another special service is running. So I don't think you needed 2 stands specialising for National Express. You could have given 1 for Flixbus, Barnes and Excursions and 1 to National Express coaches, but whatever they want to do. Same here. Again, I think this is a bit stupid, because I don't think National Express will use the DMI, but they might. I don't know if they'll be on there. And you have this, of course, that you have at every National Express coach stop. Welcome to your coach stop. Thank you for choosing to travel with National Express, etc., etc. You have a fair amount of seating here. This is just N1, so, and it isn't a long one like L and M, it is 2 separate ones. So I don't know how they've worked that out, whether it's going to be timetabled where, for example, the 444 when it comes, and the 403, because they're not as frequent, they'll stop at one, but then the 401, most of the time, will stop at the other. I don't know how that's going to work, whether it's just going to be, it can stop at either. But this one is slightly bigger, and as you can see, this one is sort of the same. You've got your benches, your main seating, DMI, and the presumably, but they don't use timetables, so I don't know what will go in there. If anyone can let me know, well, by the time this video comes out, the proper Fleming Way will be open anyway, but you know. And then we have your welcome to your coach stop sign here. There's buses galore around here at the moment, well, obviously. And this is the turn that I was talking about. It is going to be a no entry except cycles, so you have to go that way down the road. You can't pop out here and go like that. You're not allowed. So yeah, it is a one-way loop. Now let's walk down the other side of the main Fleming Way, where stand A to P are. So the signs have been done fairly well, so it does say it's a bus gate, so buses, taxis and bikes will be able to use the main Fleming Way, and this Cheltenham Street turning circle can be used by buses and taxis and probably bikes as well. And taxis will have to go around the entire loop, turn right and get into the taxi stand, as I said. So we're going to come back to this crossing, which is toggled properly now, and it will alternate. So if this is red, which it just went red as I came up to it, the Fleming Way exit will be green, if you know what I mean. So we're here on the other side. Now I haven't pointed these out yet, so I'm just going to pan around to them very quickly. They are the where are the stop signs. Here. So it points where stands L, M, N, R, P to Y and A to K. So we are looking at stands A to P now, but this side is P to Y. First up is stand P. This one is going to be used by S6 services to Oxford and 6 services to Stratton Park. As you can see, it is quite a large bus shelter. I do like this. And you have this sign again, where that will have the timetable in. And then in the middle, DMIs. These are all going to be the same, so we'll just have a quick walk down with the back camera in silence. This is the stand for the 8 and 8A to Kingsdown, which of course you stand 13 at the moment. And right up on in stand is that training vehicle. So If I just walk, it'll appear behind us. This one is S22 ABC 34817. This one has been here the last couple of days. Not literally left there, I mean coming down this road. So of course that is what you train in at Stagecoach West, and that one will be, of course, having a drive down Fleming Way every now and again, sorting out J, sorting out the L turn. Same with Swindon Bus Company, they'll be down here, you know, every so often, and it's just it's a really nice bus. I'm going to grab a quick picture of it because I don't think I've ever seen it in person before. Very good. So that's X-Stroud, that one. Used to do the 67 a lot. But of course, now a training vehicle, as there's no pointers in public service. Coming up to stand R, it's the 7 stand towards Highworth. And then you have stand S, which is 17 and 17A to Park South. Now in this middle bit here you do have bike shelters, the current connection to the bus station, which of course will be closed, and where Zurich is. You have your shrubbery area, and then you have the middle crossing which connects this side to that side without getting run over. Again, I think they could have just made the zebra crossing like they did on that other one down in the turning circle area. I think this could have just been a zebra crossing instead of pedestrian controlled traffic lights, because 9 times out of 10 people are just going to cross, even though the road is on green, because it will be easier and quicker, if you know what I mean, because they do take quite a while to go red. I did test them out the other day. I'm not going to do it now because it's a bit busier, but they go red practically instantly, so you are going to have buses go through quite quickly. More benches here outside of Zurich, which were here anyway. Coming up to stand T here, it is another, the stands are about the same size on all stands, with the same amount of facilities inside, and they do all have this map on the back, you know, where do you go in Swindon. So yeah, stand T, U, W, X and Y, and then I'm going to show you the crossing at the other end of Fleming Way, near the Leonardo Hotel, which will be used by those people maybe getting from these stands to those stands just there. And we can also talk about where Coach Styles 99 will be going. Actually, no, there is 4 crossings because there's one here as well. So there's going to be 4 pedestrian crossings, one at either end, and then one in the slap bang middle, and one just next to stands D and V. So there is 4 pedestrian crossings, and then at the turning circle there is just one that goes across. And again, it's traffic light controlled, which I don't think it should be. Personally, I think they could have just got away with zebra crossings here, because honestly, 9 times out of 10, the bus, if it's approaching you, it's going to pull into a bus stop. Oh, need to break my shoe. But as you can see, it is, again, the main road, and then you have the cycle lane here, and it is push to operate. I'm going to do it, right? Do they work? They do work. So let's see how long it takes. And they're red. That was how quick it was. That was about 2 seconds. We'll do it again once they go green. And let's see how long it stays red for. So it's been red for, and now it's going green again. Okay, not too bad then. We'll do it again in a second. So yeah, I've done it again, and it was practically instantly. I'll do it again. So they're on red at the moment, going green. Right, they're green. I'll give it a few seconds. I don't want to break it, obviously. Right. Pressed it. Yellow, red, and then you can cross. So it's about 2 seconds, if that. And it will be the same with all of them. So it takes about 2-ish seconds. I'll do it on this side as well. Traffic lights behind me. I've pressed it and it's literally gone red instantly. So it's not going to be like you're waiting around for it to go red. It doesn't beep though. I thought it might. And again, green, man. It stays green, not too long, but long enough. I was dawdling there. That was a bit my fault. I missed it. Right, final 3 stands on this side, and then we'll look at stand D. So this is stand number C, which is going to be used for 17 and 17A Pen Hill bound services. Pen Hill bound? I'm surprised, but I guess because it goes to the railway station and loops around. Not too much to see about these. The DMI is still in the sample phase. Then coming up to stand B, which is going to be used, of course, by Stagecoach number 4. That's not, of course, if you didn't know. All stands are practically the same size. There's not much variation between them. They've got the alternation between the wireless charging availability seats and then just the bench seats. I think there is heating in these. They feel a bit warmer than out there, but that could just be the placebo effect. I'm not sure. They could have made it where it has automatic doors, like you do at the railway stations, but you know, I'm not the designer, surprisingly. And then stand A. Now this has its own massive shelter, and I don't know why, because this is going to be set downs only. There's loads of seating in here. It's bigger than what stand K had, even though this is set down only. I don't really understand the thought process behind that, making a massive stand for a drop-off only stand, which it does actually say at the bottom of the DMI. But you will have 9, 49 and 4 terminating here, as well as the 159 Ridgeway school service. And then that brings us to the final crossing on Fleming Way. Here, right at the end. Of course, that 5 would normally turn up here, but it's got to go down and around. Let's test out this crossing. Right, so let's get into the right camera. Right. Okay, this one takes a bit longer, but now it is green. As you can see, there is a cycle lane as well, and then it's green. So traffic won't be held up that badly. It's probably a wait of about 5-10 seconds, not too bad. Before we actually cross the final bit, you have a cycle lane through the middle here to connect to that side, and then the cycle lane from there onto the proper pavement going that way, and then you have the cycle lane over the pavement as you did anyway over there. There is a bit of an island here where it says the road sign, Fleming Way, up by the main set. So from this way, turning right will be a bus gate, and then coming out of here will be a bus gate. So they'll still be toggled as normal here. So cars there will have to wait even if nothing's coming out here, which maybe is a design flaw. I don't really know. And then you have the, it's a bit annoying, I've started talking about it when cars are coming, but you have the bus gate waiting in the middle there, so you have to wait, because I believe it will be, you can go on both sides, so they have to wait in the middle until cars there clear. And then getting to the other side again, it's pedestrian controlled button, which again, I don't really see the need in. It could have just been a zebra crossing, because I will do it again. Let's test the speed on it. It's pressed. 3, 2, 1. I think they're red now. There's no traffic light. Yeah, they're red. They're red anyway. I don't get this. It's still red, man. Now it's green. One thing I want to go to here is this one is toggled by the thing. So the cyclists have to press a button to get out as well. And then you've got the benches you always had up here at the top of Fleming Way. Let's have an overview of my thoughts as I need to hop on the bus back to Cirencester in 10 minutes. Hope you enjoyed that view quickly of the new Fleming Way bus boulevard. Right, my arm aches, my finger's hurting because of how long I've been holding this camera. That's probably going to be a really long video. Anyway, oh yes, I didn't speak about Coach Down 99. Quickly do that. Coach Down 99 is actually going to go from stand number D, not number, letter. You know what I mean? It's going to go from stand D, which is kind of strange. They could have given it to J4, but they've given it to stand D. I don't know why, but it's going to go in from stand D, which means it is going to be rerouted on its way into Swindon. It will still go round to the railway station as normal, but instead of turning right at the first set of traffic lights at the pub, it will carry on straight and turn right at the next set of traffic lights past Armstrong Street bus stop and Corporation Street bus stop. Maybe it will stop at both, maybe it will stop at neither, and then it will come in that way into Fleming Way. As for leaving, it will just come out of stand D, which is over there, drive straight down here and leave. Anyway, overall thoughts of Fleming Way. It is a really nice bus boulevard. It looks nice. Will it stay like it? Let's count down the days. You know what I mean? How long is it going to last? But it is a really well kept, almost kept bus station. Like the layout is really nice, really easy. You've got each stand. It says what letter it's on if you're just looking for the letter. It says what services stop there, what direction they're going. You know, and there will be probably a couple of timetable boards in each with the DMI in the middle facing each direction. So there's going to be a lot of availability in terms of passenger information in each stand. The stands have proper seating, not just the stupid bench ones that you can slip off of, that you have to just perch on. There's the external seating on the outside of the stands if you want to just sit on the outside for when the bus pulls in. Maybe the bus is due in 5 minutes or whatever. So I think that's really good. The J stands, it's been done really well. It's a bigger shelter for more amount of bus services. That's really good. Although, as I said, the 99 maybe should have been given to stand J4, because at the moment there's an entire stand just for community bus, which isn't all that often in the bus station anyway. I do think potentially that's been done without properly considering the services that might use it, because you could have had the 99 go from there, or even the 51 have its own stand and then the 64 have another. Also, that arrangement of J1, 2 and 3 I'm not really understanding. They've put 21, 23 and 6, which aren't all that frequent on J1, whereas the 51's been put on J3, which is quite far away. I think the 51 should have been put on J1 and then put 21, 23 and 6 on J3, because obviously J1 pulls up right next to the shelter, and that's where the majority of the people using that shelter will be waiting for. Of course, you do get passengers at 21, 23 and 6, but just not as many. Especially not the 6, considering the 6 towards Link Centre is going to use that stand. So that's mainly going to be a lighting stand only. So overall, I do like it. It's very nice. Will it stay like it? Probably not. But yeah, it'll be nice to see this demolished and gone very shortly. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you check out my videos where I do my first bus spotting session at the new Fleming Way, which should be coming out on the 1st of September, all being well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.